Well, it is May the 9th, and I should have started this video before I did all this chopping, but what we have here is a little peach that was from a wild stand of peaches on the side of the road. I don't know if someone at some point had planted peach trees and they suckered out from there, or if someone threw out a peach pit and it went from there. I don't know. It's along a fence line. Been watching them for several years. I finally went out there and got me some saplings that coming up. They're just going crazy out there, and I've had this since last year. And I cut all these branches back, and then I cut the top back, and finally I just cut it down to here. And looking for a good place to graft, and what we're going to be grafting today is a peach Scion variety that I got in the mail, and it is called Black Boy Peach. Very dark skin, dark flesh peach, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it will do here in Northeast Texas. And this should be a good root stock for it, since these have been growing wild in that location for several years. Don't know what type of peach this is on the bottom, but it's going to work. So I have here a Scion, and looks like this may be from a little bit older wood. I don't know, but the Scion is going to be slightly smaller than the rootstock, and I could go on down here and graft it, but I think I'm just going to do it right here, and we'll probably use, since there's such a diameter difference, I'm probably just going to use a cleft graft, which I will split this rootstock and put a chisel point on the Scion and put them together. So you see, I've come in here and I've just kind of rocked my knife down in here, and I've split this trunk here, and I'm going to cut my Scion. Alright, so I've got this cut. You want that to be straight as possible. You don't want it to your cut to dip in or anything. You want it straight as possible, so when you push it into this straight cut, there's no gaps, or as little of a gap as possible between this and the rootstock here. Alright, so like I said, the rootstock is a little larger diameter, and I like this for this kind of setting, because this particular graft, because I can just scoot this little stick over to one side. You want to match up the cambium layers, which is right underneath the bark, and so I can scoot it over this one side, and once this starts healing up and growing callus tissue, it'll actually fill in the gap here, and in a year or two, if this takes, you won't even really be able to see where this graft was very, very easily. It'll just basically, I guess, be welded together is what I liken it to. Now I'm going to use some grafting tape and tape this up, seal it off, and I'll show y'all when I'm through with that. Okay, so I've got it wrapped. Now I don't have my parafilm, which is what I usually use when wrapping the Scion itself. That's to keep it from losing too much moisture while it's healing up in here. So I did wrap this plastic, but I don't trust this grafting tape for the buds to be able to push through it. So I just wrapped real close to them. Left the buds sticking out. There's 2 buds wrapped over the top of the clipped end here. Come back down and tied it off. Now I'm going to use this blue painter's tape and a marker. I've got to get me some more aluminum tags. I like them better, but I will put the tape on there temporarily, put the name and the date that I grafted this, and it'll be good to go. We'll see how it does from there. All right, so there we go. I wrapped that tape. I labeled it on both sides, wrapped it around where I tie that plastic off. That'll help keep it from coming unraveled. Add a little more strength right there on the graft union. I also went ahead with the marker and wrote the same information directly on the bark with this black magic marker. So we'll see how that stays. I need to get my aluminum tags on here before too long. I don't trust this. The sun will actually bleach out these supposedly permanent markers over time. So anyways, there we go. We just grafted a black boy peach, and didn't really take that long. We wasn't out here just a few minutes, and I've got a few more scions. I'm going to go put on some other little peach saplings I have and see if we can convert them over. All right, so we've got another little peach tree here. Now this is a seedling. My wife got a couple years ago from our local high school ag department. Some of the high schoolers had experimented with planting seeds, and so we got a couple of these. I don't even know where my other one is. It's right here somewhere. I think it's still in a pot, but this one is doing very well, and so I think I'm gonna put some black boy peach on this, and I'm probably not gonna cut it back so severely as that other one. We're just gonna convert some of the branches of this and graft onto them. So as it inevitably does almost every time I'm grafting, that razor knife is sharp, y'all. I almost every time cut myself. So do as I say, not as I do. Be safe. It's good if you can wear some kind of thumb protector or glove. You can't, it's not as sensitive, you can't feel as much, but yeah, it's better than getting cut. Wrap some tape around it or something to keep it from cutting all the way to your thumb, through your thumb. So anyways, I've cut this branch off right here. This was as tall as them, and I got it cut to right there. So we're going to get to grafting. Alright, so one thing I wanted to show, I forgot to say on that other graft I think earlier, is when I'm inserting these, I try to leave a little bit of this wedge I cut, that raw wood, above this cut area, and that way as it's callousing over and trying to heal, all that will form callus tissue. Where all that cannabis is showing, it will try to cover the wound up, and in so doing will kind of also connect it to this, and so that is instrumental in helping it to form a good bond. Leave a little bit of that showing above where you pushed it into. You don't have to shove it all the way down to hide that. That's a very tight, nice little wedge there. I'm going to tape it up. Oh, by the way, I taped me up too. Okay, so I found or remembered where my other peach sapling was. This is like the one that's off the side of the road, off the side of the highway, the little wild peach strip there. One of them that I dug up, and I've cut it way back just in the last couple minutes. I was going to show, I'm going to do a different kind of graft on this little branch here. I'm going to put this scion, and I've cut it back to where it's pretty much the same diameter, and I've cut, get this knife out of here, I've cut a one-sided wedge, and then I come back in about a third of the way and just cut straight down. And I'll do an opposing cut here, and these will just slide together like finger joint, and I'll show that in a minute. Okay, so hopefully you can see my cuts are pretty much the same, and in length the diameters are pretty much the same. I can't tell if I'm getting this because the sun is glaring off my screen, but hopefully we're getting that right. And now we're going to slip these two together. Now let's see if you can see that, how that slips together there. And this makes a very nice tidy graft if done correctly. And once I bind that together and it heals up, if you get a good graft here, that will heal up to where you won't even hardly be able to see it, much quicker than the cleft graft. And I really like the whip and tongue graft, this is called. Okay, so there it is. I got 2 grafts on this little tree. That third branch over there, now these are what you call scaffold branches. These are going to determine the shape of the rest of the tree. Be starting off with 3 main branches and then go from there. That one over there is the original branch from the root. I may or may not graft that in the future. I may leave it on there for pollination sake. And so that put another black boy graft there. And so both of them on this tree are actually, both of them are the whip and tongue grafts. And we'll go back and look at this other one up here. Now if you remember this tree, when we first started this video, this is the second tree we grafted. It was quite a bit different than it is now. Look at all the carnage and wreckage and devastation. Severely pruned it back. So we got 3 grafts of black boy on this one. These are all cleft grafts. So I got one there, here, and across the tree. The rest of them I left the seedling variety for right now. We will see later how we'll shape it further, but for right now, just so the tree would have some leaves to feed it. But I wanted to bring them down below, or at least to the level of these grafts. If you know anything about apical dominance, the tallest point of the tree is usually the one that gets all the main nutrition from the roots. So we're trying to level the playing field for these grafts, get the roots to start pushing nutrition into them, and we cut it back severely, all the rest of the branches. So yeah, I know it looks drastic, but that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you can't be scared to do a little bit. I used to be real scared to do this kind of pruning. I'm like, oh, what if I kill the tree? Well, yeah, that's a possibility, I guess. Put it in severe shock, but this is just how I do it, and it tends to work more times than not. Hope you like that. God bless.